we're here at Wyandotte Winery in Columbus, Ohio, with best-selling author and founder of C4G, but most importantly, my cousin, Beth Thomas. Thanks for being here with us, Beth.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
You didn't start out as a CEO or an author. Why don't you give us a little background of the business path and professional path of Beth Thomas?
You know, it's not that complicated. I started out with Fritz Companies, where, by the way, I got him a job, and it was something...
Wait. Before you go any further, let's tell the truth. She got me a job. She did get me a job, and she's asked me to thank her for that. Yeah, joking. Thank you for that.
Fritz Companies was the start of my career, and I absolutely loved that job. It was an international brokerage company. Like Eric said, we were into import, export, freight forwarding, and I felt like I had the best job ever. I got to travel the world. We did supply chain and logistics. I was the one that was training folks on how to use digital technology, on how to trace their freight. And I'll never forget, I was in an airport in London, and somebody said to me, "You seem like a really bright young woman." But at the end of the day, nobody ever says they wish they worked more. I started working at Victoria's Secret. Many of you may have heard of that. And started out my career in training. And I absolutely loved it. I loved to see people's eyes light up when they finally get something. And really built the learning center within all the limited brands, took it enterprise-wide, got them through Y2K, implemented 15 new technologies across 5 different businesses. But the interesting part about that is I really started to see the power of change management and training and making sure there's adoption when companies are going through change.
Well, what did those experiences do to lead you to start and found this company, Change4Growth, and write a best-selling book?
Well, you know, I loved every single experience in corporate America, and I felt like that really helped prepare me to be the best consultant that I could be, because it was all about helping companies and helping people get better. And, you know, we have a servant leadership type of mentality, and having that practitioner knowledge and being able to own those disciplines within the organizations really helped us understand how to be the best consultant. So we were practitioners. Most of my staff have been practitioners, and really circle around the servant leadership model.
So the book, Powered by Happy, which, by the way, you can see mine, and you can see that it is about torn and frayed as any Keith Richards song. But we use this. I use this. It's a business book. At the end of the day, this has become a business book. Yeah. This is not a feel-good, peace and love hippie thing. This was a real business book, and as you can see, it's kind of torn and frayed. There's folds everywhere in it, but I love it, and it's really helped us and my management team.
I wrote the book to help people at the end of the day, but the funny thing is, I have had over a dozen people send me notes within the last 10 weeks saying they've read my book, most recently more than they have in the last 10 years. And it has helped bring them comfort and really help them focus on being an engaged employee. Because before this pandemic, 75% of people weren't happy at work, 75%. And what does that translate into when it comes to business goals is $750 to $800 billion in lost productivity every single year. So in my mind, CEOs should be asking themselves this question, and that's why it's turning into a business book. How do we engage our associates and create the culture where businesses can thrive? Because at the end of the day, it's people over profit. Just the uncertainty and maneuvering the uncertainty in today's world is what's keeping them up at night, along with how do we keep a workforce engaged when nobody's together anymore? Change can happen fast, and it can happen without warning. And the fact is that change is going to be constant from now on. It's going to be like the waves in an ocean. It's just going to keep coming. So with that in mind, do you want to prepare your organization to be change capable and how to be resilient? So no matter what the change, they are agile and building that competency up so you're able to pivot when you need to. People will be engaged with the change. They'll be bought in with the change, and they'll understand what the change means to them. What's the WIFM and the what's in it for me, and truly being able to understand what success looks like.
Let's kind of talk about how we engaged and you engaged us at OWL. As labor costs in China, for example, went up and the tariffs came in, U.S. retailers were looking to diversify their sourcing. And that happened to be in Southeast Asia, also in, near sourcing in Mexico and also in Latin America. But I'll be the first to admit, I think we're really, really good at a lot of things. And I'll pat myself on the back and think I'm really, really good at some things as well. But trying to see the problem, which is really what we're good at, and then trying to manage and fix and transition.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head, Eric. It's about planning. It's about being focused on what is your new normal based on some of the challenges that you're going through. So the way that we helped you was help facilitate an organization on what are we going to reprioritize, where are we going to pivot, how do you bring in digital agility? Like right now, companies, that's on every CIO's mind, right? Digital transformations, digital agility. We're pushing it 5 years into the future. But one of the things that you all did as a leadership team is you came together, we were able to facilitate a great session around how are we going to reprioritize our business, because customers are going to be buying differently. We're going to need different talent. We're going to need definitely a different infrastructure and different technology. Yeah. But you also saw that it wasn't about the technology. It was about adoption. It was about how are we going to get people to utilize the technology the way it was meant to be.
Beth, the other part about that, I mean, the way that we kind of, when we engaged you and you engaged us, that really helped us was not necessarily just, okay, we're seeing where the market is going and where we need to be. And we think we did that pretty well. And we were, we could have done it 5 years ago, but we didn't. But we jumped at it pretty quick. But it wasn't just about a footprint and hanging a sign and having staff and opening up a warehouse space in the CFS operation. We had to figure out a way to have a single platform. So the information looked exactly like so McDonald's, you get a hamburger in Tokyo or you get a hamburger in Columbus, Ohio. It looks the same. We needed the same in China as we did in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. When we went through with you helped us look at it in a dramatically different way, not just as a user, but also as an investment.
The funny thing is digital transformation and digital agility and supply chain specifically, talk about digitalizing supply chain, because that's obviously a hot topic now, but you guys were ahead of the game many years ago. And we picked a solution that was going to help your organization kind of get to next, as well as, it wasn't just the coolest thing out there. Yeah. It was something that was truly going to add value, and it was going to be integrated, and it was going to be a hub of information. But you really looked at what is the best practice and how do we pick a technology that's going to enable that best practice. We see companies spending millions of dollars on the technology and then zero on the people that are going to have to adopt it into what they do in the business sense day in and day out. So really, it's not about the technology, it's about adoption and how do we make that technology enable what we do every single day.
There's a lot of good, a lot of bad, but also a lot of good that's come out of this.
Yeah.
I can name off 5 or 6 right off the top of my head, but in your mind, what are some of the good things that come out of, crisis like this?
Well, I will tell you, I think working from home in a blended fashion has really been an eye-opener, because there's so many leaders and so many organizations who always thought working from home was something bad. So I think that it really opened people's eyes to be able to do that. I think there's a lot more focus on community and relationship building, because I think that's important. And I think CEOs are really understanding the power of employee engagement and the power of their people in really making sure that that's what's going to differentiate them from a consumer perspective and how they're going to be successful. At the end of the day, people that focus on that will be most successful.
I totally agree. I want to say thanks to Valerie Beth's sister Valerie
Yeah.
owns this winery and her husband Robin. Thank you for allowing us to.
Winery and Rockside.
Oh, so if people want to get a hold of you and
Yeah.
reach out to you, how do they do that? Do they just call Winery?
Yeah,
And ask
and ask for me because I'm
Okay.
here a lot. This is definitely one of the things that has gotten me through the last 10 weeks is a lot of Winery wine or Rockside. No, but seriously, they can reach out to www.Change4Growth.com or bthomas@change4growth.com, and that's the number 4. And we'd be happy to chat with you.
Well, it's not that I'm biased because Beth is family, but they've done an amazing job for us and helped us through a lot of crazy stuff. So highly recommend at least making a phone call. Beth, thank you very, very
Cheers.
much. So Tiffany, tell me what it's really like to work with your mother.
Yeah, no comment.
And this is the question I've always wanted to ask you. Is she really that happy, powered by happy?
Yeah, Eric, if you would change that coffee cup to a wine glass, it would be a lot more relevant than this coffee mug. She's
Nice.
definitely powered by wine.
Seriously, what is it like working with your mother?
You know, it really is amazing. I will say that I was nervous at first because we have such a good relationship before, but
We've always had that.
we've always had a really good relationship and I never wanted that to change. But it's really been amazing to watch her as a leader and especially during this time, make swift and decisive decisions
Right.
super fast and be really agile. And I've really enjoyed it and enjoyed learning from her. There's definitely times where we have to have that conversation where I was like, I need CEO Beth and not Mom Beth,
right?
you know?
Right.
But we've definitely found that balance, which has been really great. And it's just
Does
enhanced
she ever say, okay, I need employee Tiffany and not daughter Tiffany? Does that ever happen?
Not yet.
Maybe at home.
Yeah, just at home. Yeah, since
Got it.
I've been living with her.
Got it. Well, thanks for coming out today. It's great to see you. By the way,
Love to see you.
where are you right now? What are you doing with Change4Growth?
Yeah, so for almost 2 years now, I've been working on a client in New York City. I've been based in New York the past 6 years, so
Yeah,
I'm working
knew that.
on a client for the past 2 years in New York City doing a system implementation, really focusing on training and change management.
Well, so it's a retail client, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Have you not kind of put in there that, your cousin owns a logistics company in Asia and it might be a good fit?
That's going to be
I mean-
my next conversation with them, for
Oh
sure.
my God.
So Uncle Tom, first thing I have to say is you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome. This is what I've always wanted to do.
No, I meant.
Be on somebody's blog. This life changing.
I mean, you're welcome for getting Eric out of the house
Oh, that's true.
and getting
Correct.
the job, right?
Yes.
I mean, so what I want to know is what is it like living with him right now? Because he moved back to your house, he took over
wife.
your basement,
Three.
and he's now living with you again. So I don't have a job to offer him anymore to get him out, but how does that feel?
His wife gave my wife a cup for Mother's Day, something or other. I don't know what it was, but it said on the outside, "Thank you for not putting my husband up for adoption when he was young." And we're kind of feeling like, why didn't we do that? But it's been, I must say, it's been wonderful. And not only with Eric there, it has been a gift for us because we don't get to see him that much because he's in Asia so much and in Sri Lanka. And so it's been really good for us. And he has been helping out around the house. We did some painting. We did some other things that I couldn't be doing, which is a great help. And the big thing, though, is having his wife here.
Yeah, she's
huge.
awesome.
Her and my wife are having contests on cooking.
Yeah.
And so Eric and I are the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Great. They're out trying to outdo one another. It's wonderful stuff. Sri Lankan food is very good, by the way. So we're enjoying that, and we appreciate Tashara a lot, and especially the things that she does. She's involved with the orphanage that they sponsor in Sri Lanka. The wonderful, wonderful things we've seen. Photographs. I haven't been there yet, but I can't wait to see those seeing the pictures of the girls' faces and stuff. But are
They benefit
beneficiaries
from it, right.
of what they've done.
Right.
And Tashara's kind of heading that up.
Yeah.
Eric's company is doing supplying the cash. And it's just been really good.
Well, I mean, in all seriousness, Eric has turned out pretty okay. And his company's been very successful. And he's been living in Hong Kong and now Sri Lanka. And he was able to meet a wonderful better half, Tashara. And they've been doing an amazing job, not only with the company, but also, like you said, with the orphanage. And it's a great cause. And that's something I'm really proud of.
Actually, the whole thing, we just have a great family, Beth.
We do.
We have a really great family.
I know.
This has been a wonderful, this has been a great experience for me. And I'm going to spend more time here at the winery that I just realized.
Yeah,
I found that
because
out.
it's awesome.
It is awesome, isn't the word?
That's right.
It's a great
Cheers
place.
to our family.
Here we go.
Yeah.
In every thought leadership session, we always end it with passing out a bottle of wine. This is pertinent because, first of all, thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Actually, I got you too because you're family. Like I said, this is relevant because this wine is part of our selfie campaign that most of the viewers know about. And when you take a selfie with this, our company donates to the orphanage. But as important, this is bottled and made
Right here
at Wine Winery.
in the cellar,
it's
not to
called-
be confused with the basement.
It's called the State House.
It's really good.
And there's a lot of people who passed this out. We had 30 cases donated by Winery on behalf of OWL for the orphanage. So I also give you a bottle back.
Oh my gosh.
And thank you both very, very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to give mine to my sister. Okay?
I
I got
That's a
plenty.
good idea.
I have
Oh, now I
plenty.
gotta give her
Yeah, no. Hey, cheers to you, Eric. Thanks.
Cheers, Eric. We love you, baby.